rap. Bustin' like an addict with a semi-automatic who done had it and he ready for anybody to buck back.
Eminem and Logic on the same song.
Son, you know why you the greatest alive?
Why, Dad?
Because you came out of my balls, nigga.
This opening skit is between Logic and his real-life actual father. Props to Logic for managing to put his dad on a song with his all-time favorite rapper. Imagine being at that family reunion trying to tell everybody how successful you are, and then boom, you automatically get trumped with the fact that these two were on a song with fucking Eminem.
Fuck rap, bustin' like an addict with a semi-automatic who done had it and he ready for anybody to buck back.
Logic uses the double entendre of bustin' like an addict by giving the idea that he is an addict of rap who has had it with how the game has changed and is ready to kill over it using his chopper-sounding flow, which is comparable to a drug addict that is strung out on drugs who is fed up with the world and will kill anything just as easily.
Hold on, catch a vibe, ain't no way in hell we leaving nobody alive, even suicide, no fuck that.
Logic says fuck leaving a suicide note, meaning that he and Eminem are literally going to murder everybody in the rap game except for themselves. Also, the fuck the suicide note bar likely has an underlying meaning alluding to the fact that Logic no longer wants to be known as the suicide song guy. Logic was catapulted into the mainstream with his 1-800 song about suicide, but he wants to show everybody that he can do more than that and he can rap with the best of them. So what better way to prove that than to rap with Eminem?
Bobby feeling villainous, he killing us. I'm coming for your man and his lady, and even a baby. I'm feeling like I'm chicken Slim Shady with rabies.
Logic explains that he's literally fed up with everybody and that not even your man's lady's baby is safe from his wrath. That's one pissed off man. Also, Logic samples the record scratching sound that Eminem makes from his own song My Name Is. Also, Logic uses Slim Shady, also Eminem's alter ego, as an example of someone who would rap about anyone, even his man's lady's baby, giving a nice nod to Eminem on his own track in a very discreet way.
I'm coming at the mouth, ain't nobody taking me out.
This is a follow-up line to the previous line about Logic feeling like Slim Shady on rabies, because when animals have rabies, they foam at the mouth. But Logic is taking this one step further by saying he is feeling like someone who is already crazy as fuck that has rabies, making them even fucking crazier.
Every single rapper in the industry, yeah, they know what I'm about, and I dare you to test me, cause not a single one of you motherfuckers impress me, and maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'm full of innovation.
Logic basically puts an end to the talk of him not wanting any smoke, cause he's clearly ready for any and all smoke, even going as far as daring anybody to test him. I can only dream Jordan Lucas answers the call and he and Logic go back and forth.
And I'm tired of all of this high school, he's cool, he's not rap shit. Can a single one of you motherfuckers even rap shit?
Here, Logic basically explains how sick and tired he is of the bullshit criticism in rap where it's basically a popularity contest. He then goes on to ask, can any of these so-called rappers actually even rap, pointing out the flawed system of what people perceive as a good rapper. He also does this in a unique way by saying the same phrase, rap shit, but changing the inflection of the two words, which is a very admirable skill to possess in rapping. Also, Logic could be referring to the fans/critics in this section by questioning their opinions on who's a good rapper, considering they themselves cannot rap and are not knowledgeable enough to know what good rap is.
No, this ain't a diss to the game, it's a gas to the flame. Nowadays, everybody saying the same shit's lame. Like I'm on to the flame, I'm a real man and killing. Are you feeling lyricism when I'm spilling and I'm feeling myself?
Logic begins to dig deeper into the message of this song by using the analogy of new rappers being like moths to a flame, meaning they are not distinguishable from one another and are flying to reap the benefits of the existing flame until it burns out, while he himself is like gas to the flame, only making it bigger and stronger, the flame/fire being the rap game in and of itself. Also, Logic indirectly calls new rappers nothing but bugs. Also, Logic calls new rappers moths, which on average only have a 1-year lifespan, giving every new rapper basically a 1-year limit to their success before it crashes and fucking burns.
Oh yeah, Bobby boy, he been feeling himself. Man's murder like this can't be good for my health. When I rap like this, do I sound like shit? Well, it don't really matter cause I'm killing this shit. Yeah, I'm killing this shit. Oh yeah, I'm killing this shit. Bobby, how many times you been killing this shit? Find another round, goddamn nigga shit.
Logic really brings home the concept of this entire song by poking fun at the people who criticize him for rhyming the same words a lot by quadrupling the amount of times he rhymes those exact same words. Also, Logic facetiously asks people if they think he sounds like shit when he's rapping in this exaggerated manner, but then proceeds to say he doesn't really give a fuck because, you know, he's killing this shit.
There's nowhere to hide. We call this shit genocide. Hit them with that doo then they die. We gon' leave them crucified. We call this shit genocide.
Logic basically says you're fucked if you're a rapper in his sights. Also, and bear with me here, Logic uses the sound effects doo for the sound of a gun going off to illustrate killing rappers, but it can also be seen as him literally saying doo-doo, as in shit. Considering Logic says he calls this shit genocide, and he hits him with the doo, he's basically using another way of saying he's hitting people with more genocide, which by definition is the deliberate killing of a large group of people. Logic's fucking fed up.
I got bitches, I got hoes, I got rare designer clothes. No, we ain't fucking with that. Yeah, there's a time and a place, but if you ain't coming with the illest of raps, calling yourself the greatest alive, then you don't deserve to do that.
Logic again mocks the modern rapper with exaggerated autotune and rapping of the standard new age rap topics. However, Logic doesn't completely bash the idea, saying that there is a time and place for that kind of stuff, but if you want to be the best rapper alive, you can't do that shit.
I'm feeling like I'm chicken Slim Shady.
Like Jay-Z, jiggers up, you fuckers who didn't write anything are getting washed like bathing.
This was one of the greatest fucking transitions of all time. Also, Eminem starts his verse with the classic record scratch sound that he used from My Name Is, but instead he's saying the word jigga, which is Jay-Z's nickname, which is used to carry a double entendre over the next 8 different bars. To further explain, Eminem says, like Jay-Z, the jig is up for fuckers who didn't write anything, which is a stab at rappers who use ghostwriters, saying that their time has come. However, the way Eminem pronounces this, it can be heard as jig is up, as in the jig is up, or jig is up, as in Jay-Z is the next to perform, which is why the like Jay-Z jig is up line makes more sense. M also goes on to say that they are getting washed like bathing, which is the double entendre saying that those who do use ghostwriters are getting washed, which is a common term for getting your ass beat, but also meaning getting washed like when you bathe because you wash yourself.
Young Hova, I know hitters like Yankees, gun-toters, the pull triggers like crazy, unloaded, leave you shot up in your rover, your body goes limping, slumps over like A-Rod in a month low, but he just homered.
Hova is also another nickname for Jay-Z, continuing on with the Jay-Z scheme from the beginning of this verse. Also, Eminem started this bar by saying, Young Hova, I know hitters like Yankees, which is very important, because hitters is also another term for shooters, and when Jay-Z was just 12 years old, he shot his very own brother for stealing his ring, so technically, Young Hova was a hitter. Also, the Yankees are a Major League Baseball team, and when players are on offense, they are known as hitters, for those of you unfamiliar with baseball terminology, revealing the double meaning with the phrase hitters. Also, the Yankees are based in New York, which is Jay-Z's hometown. Also, there's another baseball double entendre hidden within the line no hitters, meaning as a no-hitter, spelled N-O hitter, in baseball is when a pitcher throws an entire game without giving up a single hit to those who are trying to score off him. Also, times 5, continuing on with this baseball scheme, when a hitter is in the process of hitting the ball, it is often referred to as the unloading of the swing, especially when someone hits the ball hard. Also, times 6 in baseball, when someone hits the ball hard, it is often referred to as a shot. For example, a line shot is a hard hit ball through the infield about 6 to 8 feet off the ground. Also, times 7 with this fucking baseball scheme, rover is an unmarked position that is directly behind the second base bag, which 99.9% of the time is open and does not have a fielder there to catch the ball. So when Eminem says he'll unload and leave you shot up in the rover, he's saying he unloads his swing, hits a shot or also a line shot, a hard hit ball to rover behind second base, which will not have a fielder behind it, which is a successful hit and not out. Also times 8, this is in reference to someone being shot in a Range Rover, which is in continuation to the shooter/hitter scheme Eminem intertwined into this plethora of a fucking entendre. Also times 9, Eminem then says when you get shot in your rover that your body will limp and slumps over, but this is also a double meaning of the term slumps over with baseball terminology. A slump is when someone does not get a hit for a long period of time or they are not performing to their usual expectations for a certain period of time, and the slump usually ends when there is a series of big hits or a massive hit like a home run occurs. Eminem uses an example of someone's slump being over with A-Rod or Alex Rodriguez by saying he didn't have a hit for an entire month, but he finally got a home run and now his slump is over, slumps over. Also times 10 or whatever the fucking number is by now, Alex Rodriguez spent the majority of his career on the fucking Yankees, which is where this entire scheme started. This whole section was just absolutely fucking nuts.
Hold up, I said Rover because now your Rover is red like Red Rover, so you know what I meant, but I wrote over my opponents instead, making dog sounds, cause I gotta keep breaking these bars down. I'll go slow for the speds, but when I go like the Doberman said, I still think the roof would go over your head.
Eminem says that your Rover would now be red because you were shot in it, and now it's covered in blood, which is red. But he uses this as a double meaning of Red Rover, which is a childhood game in which a line of people would lock arms and yell for someone on the other team to come over and try to break their line. The challenged player would run full sprint into someone's interlocking arms, trying to break through the wall. Eminem basically says that he would roll over any opponent instead of trying to play this childish game. In fact, the common nursery rhyme for this game is Red Rover, send blank over, in which you would fill in the name of whoever you wanted to come over to try to break your line, and that would be when Eminem was supposed to come over, but instead of coming over, he rolls over, and literally just steamrolls over anybody that says his name because he's a fucking badass. At the end of this, Eminem says that his bars are so elevated that he has to break them down for the sped, which is a combined word for special education, basically saying that most listeners who call him bad are mentally handicapped. He then explains that he could do something so simple as to make a dog noise on the track, like most modern rappers do nowadays, but that it would still go over your head. Did I mention that he did this with a double entendre as well, with the actual word roof and the onomatopoeia sound roof? Because roofs are literally over your head, and the word roof, like the dog makes, is going over your head because you're a sped or mentally handicapped. That's Eminem for you.
Beast mode, motherfuckers about to get hit with so many foul lines. You think I'm a free throw? Figured it was about time for people to eat crow. You about to get outrhymed? How could I be dethroned? I stay on my toes like the repo, a behemoth in sheep clothes. From the east coast to the west, I'm the ethos and I'm the GOAT. Who the best? I don't gotta say a fucking thing, no, cause MCs know.
The double entendres are never ending! Eminem says that you'll get hit with so many foul lines, as in harsh lyrics from him, that you think he's a free throw. In basketball, you shoot free throws from the foul line. Em also says that it's time for people to eat crow, which is a common expression of someone admitting to their mistakes in a very humiliating fashion, basically showing people that he still got what it takes and for them to eat their own words. Also, stay on my toes like a repo. Repo companies tow cars. Eminem is staying on his toes, which is an expression for someone to always be alert for the next move. Also, a behemoth is another word for giant, which is an adaptation to the old saying, beware of a wolf in sheep's clothing, which is the basic idea that someone may look innocent or non-threatening on the outside, but on the inside, they are a living fucking nightmare. Finally, ethos is the Greek word for character, or also means spirit, so basically Eminem is saying that from the East Coast to the West Coast, he is the character and spirit of rap, and the best that there is. And he doesn't even have to say it because all the artists already know. Talk about balls.
But you don't wanna hear me spit the facts. Your shit is ass like a tailbone, and you're trapped in your cell phone. I'm a chicken scratch on my self-load. I don't wanna fucking listen to you spit your rap someone else wrote.
Your shit is ass like a tailbone. A pretty self-explanatory double entendre, but definitely worthy of being counted. Eminem also says that people spend too much time on their cell phone or even listening to Eminem's old songs to actually work on their own craft to get better. The chicken scratch part may be referencing his line in Rap God where he says that he wants to make sure that somewhere in his chicken scratch he scribbles and doodles enough rhymes to help get some people through tough times. Eminem also has a lot of songs referencing his own self-loathing and self-hatred, so this part is most certainly alluding to the fact that people listen to him more than work on their own craft. Also, this bar ends with one more quick jab at ghostwriters, because why the fuck not?
Used to get beat up by the big kids, used to let the big kids steal my big wheel, and I wouldn't do shit but just sit still. Now money's not a big deal, I'm rich, I wipe my ass with 6 mil.
Eminem says he wipes his ass with $6 million, or 6 mil, which is a double entendre for 6 millimeters, which would be some thick-ass, very, very expensive toilet paper. But that would also probably feel fucking awesome.
Big bills like a platypus, the caterpillars coming to get the cannabis. I'm looking for the smoke, but you motherfuckers are scattering, battering everything, and I've had it with the inadequate man. I can see my dick is standing stiff as a mannequin, and I'm bringing the bandana back in the fucking headband and the handkerchief, and I'm thinking of bringing the fucking fingerless gloves back and not giving a singular fuck like fuck rap.
The speed! Also, have you ever seen a platypus's bill? It's fucking huge. This is a double entendre for him saying he's got a lot of money, FYI. Also, Eminem says that the caterpillar's coming to get the cannabis. Eminem has a song called Caterpillar, so he's likely saying he wants all the smoke, which is a likely side effect when you smoke marijuana or cannabis. This could also be reigniting an old beef with rapper Cannabis. It's highly unlikely, but you never know with Eminem. Also, this verse is Eminem's friendly take on comedian Chris D'Ella's viral video of him rapping random words pretending to be Eminem. In fact, Eminem used almost every single word Chris D'Ella said in his parody, all while saying he would bring back his old rap look again.
I sound like a fucking millionaire with a derringer with a hair trigger, about the bear hugging fucking terrier, the Ric Flair dripping. Y'all couldn't hold a candle, let a prayer vigil. When I vent, they compare me to a fucking air duck. I'm about to bare knuckle it, nah, fuck it.
Eminem uses the "you couldn't hold a candle" double entendre by telling rappers they couldn't even hold a candle at a prayer vigil, where you basically need to hold a candle and it's the easiest thing to do. "You can't even hold a candle to me" is also a common expression saying that you're nowhere near as good as me. Also, the double entendre with the vent and the air duct is rather self-explanatory, but when he vents, he lets go of his anger on a song. They compare him to an air duct because, you know, air ducts have vents. There's also a line about a derringer with a hair trigger. A derringer is a gun, and a hair trigger is a very easily pulled back trigger. It's not really worth explaining too much, but I feel like we should add it onto this. About to bear hug a fucking terrier, the Ric Flair dripper is most certainly a shot at Offset and his song Ric Flair Drip, which is a staple of a mumble rap song, being as the cover art to the album that it was on was a picture of a terrier.
I'm gonna go upside the head with a Nantucket Africa fucking dabber. The track is the blood I'm attracted, I'm attacking it. What Dracula? Fuck that shit, I'm up back with a thud. Man, stop.
Eminem says that the track is blood and that he's attacking it, but it can also be heard that he is a tack in it, being part of the reason that it's bleeding. Obviously, the mention of him being Dracula, liking the blood, helps along with this scheme. And last but not least, the video ends with Chris D'Ella's parody rap of Eminem, which I will give 100 wins for.
5 bars, 5 seconds. Yo. Cinnamon, cinnamon, all feminine, feminine, all venom, and heart venom, and cinnamon, all venom, cinnamon, sauce, venom, enema, give him an enema, short enema, melanin, no melanin, all men are friends.